Hey guys, welcome back for another budget with me video. I've made some changes. So this video is again gonna be different and now we're rocking and rolling. So for the rest of the year, there will be no more changes and there will be no more chaos in these videos. They'll just be straight up standard budget with me videos. But what I realized was lacking from my videos was a bit of the lifestyle portion, because the way that my partner and I split finances is that they're not fully combined. So he covers different parts of the money than I do. So before I just said this is how much money I sent him. So I don't want to share his income, but I have shared a portion of his income he contributes to our shared expenses, as well as a better breakdown of what those expenses actually are. So rather than just me sending him 900 bucks and budgeting that, I actually have what our monthly expenses are in each of these areas. I think that will just be helpful to see kind of like what the lifestyle looks like. I have left a few things out again of his personal savings, his personal investments, and then what his actual income is, and basically just said, here's what my income is, this is what my real income is, here's all of our expenses, and then in order to cover those expenses, this is what he contributes to our combined expenses. So what we're gonna do in this video is I'm gonna go over what our actual expected combined budget is with those shared expenses, as well as my investments and my debt payments and our sinking fund savings, and then break down how I budgeted my last paycheck and where all that money went. So I think this is more helpful just to see what our expenses actually are as like a 20-something school in Colorado, what we actually budget for every single month, and then how that aligns with our spending, as well as how I actually budget my paychecks every single month. I'm paid bi-weekly, so normally I have 2 paychecks, except for 2 months where I get 3 paychecks, which those months are fun. So let's just go over what our expected budget is. Normally I don't do this in every single video, but because I'm throwing new information and sharing this with you, I think it'd be helpful. So starting with our income, as you guys know, I expect to make about $4,000 a month. In order to cover all of our combined expenses, Jake contributes $6,000 a month to our household. So in total, we basically budget off of $10,000 every single month. Our mortgage and homeowners insurance and property taxes and all the thing are $3,046 a month. For gas and power, we budget $187 a month, which is an average. Water, we budget $80 a month. Trash is $40 a month. Internet is $84.69 every single month. Car insurance is $214.69. And then our phones total $90 a month. For debt, I'm paying off my student loans and I put $1,960 a month to my debt. Of that, $1,060 is my minimum student loan payment, $200 is a contribution from work, and $700 is extra money that I put towards my debt. I invest $583 a month to my Roth IRA. And then savings wise, I have my emergency fund, and then we have our combined sinking funds, which add up to $890 a month in sinking fund savings. And then for our variable expenses, we budget $1,000 a month for groceries. For eating out, we budget $150 per month. We plan to spend $350 a month on cars, and this includes gas as well as like little maintenance, but mostly gas, tolls, things like that. We budget about $300 for household expenses, whether that's like toilet paper, paper towels, or like tools or anything that we need for the house, $300 a month. And we each get $200 a month to spend however we want. So that is what we plan for every month. Let's dive into July. We already budgeted my first paycheck for July, so we're on to my second as well as Jake's contribution. I made about $20 less than I expected to make. Not a huge deal. I do budget with some buffer room. I try to give every single dollar a job. Yeah, sometimes you just need a little buffer. So that's what I did. So I went ahead and assigned money to all of our variable as well as our fixed expenses. So between all of those expenses, that is $5,942.38 that I assigned, including assigning $3,512 to our fixed expenses, $1,813 to our variable expenses. So that's the first thing I did. And then I had extra cash left over. And so I went ahead and made a payment to my student loans. So that's an additional $500 that I paid towards my debt, bringing my monthly student debt payment to $2,060, which is $100 more than I expect. And that's perfectly fine with me. I also went ahead and invested $583 because that is how much I invest every single month. And I didn't do that with my last paycheck. Once again, with this paycheck, we covered our fixed expenses and our variable expenses, assigned all the money to those areas, as well as made my investments and made an extra contribution to my debt, bringing my total payment to $2,060 instead of $1,960. This leaves us having assigned $8,805 of our $10,000 per month contributed to the household. So the last thing we have to do is assign the rest of our sinking funds. So as you guys know, I contribute this much to each of my sinking funds. Jake contributes this much to each of his sinking funds. For the purposes of this video, they're just combined. So our sinking funds include $63 for gifts, $205 for travel, $76 for ski passes, $62 for credit card annual fees, $30 for car maintenance, $28 to cover pumping our septic every couple years, $167 goes towards meat, whether we eventually want to buy a cow or if we go hunting and need to process that meat, $100 for technology, $84 for clothes, and $75 for gear is what we save for every single month. And then that adds up to our savings bucket. So I contribute to gifts, travel, ski passes, credit card annual fees, and car maintenance. Jake contributes to each of those categories as well as the rest of the categories. So with that, we have $1,100 left over that'll just roll into the next month or cover some overspending. If you're curious about what our spending looks like every single month, you can join me for the monthly reset on Saturday in a couple days, and I'll walk through each of our expenses. I made some changes to the budget template as requested. I added tons of lines. I was budgeting for myself and I didn't need that many lines, and now that I'm budgeting for two, I needed a lot more lines, and you guys had said that too. So the template that is available on my Etsy store now has plenty of space. If you've already purchased the template and want this version, just shoot me a message on Etsy and I'll get back to you with the new version. And if you're interested in buying it, it is $7. It's taken me over 80 hours to build. So I think $7 is a fair price, and it's got some cool features. You can check out this video to see exactly how to use this template. But I do love the tracking and targets all in one spot on this template. So that's my shameless plug. Let's jump into a quick debt update since I did pay off a crap ton of debt with this payment. So I have one pending payment for $500. Otherwise, my balance is $84,873. So once that $500 payment hits, my balance will be $84,573 plus or minus some interest. So we are making headway. Definitely can't complain. Working on paying down my highest interest loan. If you're not familiar, my highest interest loan currently has a balance of $17,739.93 and an interest rate of 6.5%. The goal is to have that guy paid off soon, hopefully by the end of the year. I don't know, that seems aggressive. We're gonna try for it. So like this video and comment down below. I have yet to be able to pull any YouTube money towards my debt, and I would love to be able to do that. So thanks for supporting me. I hope that my financial transparency helps you see what you can achieve with your money. So like I said, this was a bit chaotic of a budget my paycheck because we were kind of halfway through the month and then I switched gears. So the next ones will be less chaotic, and I know I said that 4 videos ago. There's literally nothing I can add now in terms of information. So I hope it's helpful to see what our actual monthly expenses are and what we're targeting for every month. And then in the monthly resets, you can kind of see how we hit those targets. Obviously, I've been tracking my expenses, so you can visually see, but I'll kind of explain myself in that monthly reset video. So I think that that will be helpful. Drop your questions down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And I'll see you guys in the next video.